Hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy Sunday. Welcome to our 5th meeting. You see up there the disclaimer. If you are looping or thinking of looping, you can silently raise your right hand and say that you understand that this is an experimental product. This is do it yourself. This is all up to you and your own risk. Nobody's forcing you to do anything, telling you to do anything, or doing it for you. So there you go. Please stay safe with this. Thank you. I'm going to turn this over to Kenny.
Sounds scary. Okay, you're doing such a good job. Okay, sorry, let's go over resources. That's easier. Okay, so there's a how to use the loop group video I mentioned. I think it was here. Sorry. So first thing is the looped announcements. Like all the really good nuggets should be here in the announcements section of the Facebook group Looped, right? Most of you guys are aware of this. It's probably the only way you found this video was using one of those groups. This video using a looped group or loop group overview includes the announcements, mentorship, best practices, things to do and not do. The fact that there's a whole bunch of things in here and the announcements like Advent series, if you really want to do a fresh build, or if you're just getting started or know someone who's about to get started, you can point them here to Katie's kind of take it one day at a time sort of process. Check the announcements. Just check it. Just do it. Some really good stuff in here. LoopDocs, loop tips. Okay. So LoopDocs, you guys have seen, I'm bringing it up, right? Hopefully you guys have all done your builds. One thing that's not always, it might be linked here somewhere. Honestly, I don't know. But there's another site called Loop Tips. It's actually not updated very often anymore, but it has some nuggets in it that probably should have moved over to LoopDocs. But if you go to looptips.org, so loopdocs.org, you should see another kind of document here. And it's kind of a shorter, condensed version, like a review of what's going on, but it also has some other cool things in here. How to think like the loop, using morning IOB. So I talked about before about using negative and positive insulin on board. That concept was not unique to me. Katie showed it to me, basically, and through Loop Tips. She didn't actually tell it to me. I came in here and read it. Explaining how negative insulin on board when you wake up in the morning may mean your basal rates are a little bit too strong. I've expanded on how to see that in our last video, but all that's here. So there's some other cool how-tos here. Override targets. There's a where's the stuck on high? This is a good one people reference all the time, but it's not actually in LoopDocs as much. So some tips for being stuck on high. Something you can do. So you have to learn the tools you have available to you. I would tell you that the best thing to do when you're stuck on high is try to figure out how you got there. If your settings have been pretty good before, your basal's good, carb ratios are good, then you probably just miscalculated carbs or put the wrong absorption time of those carbs or something like that. So if you can figure that out, you can go fix those entries. But you have some other good options here if you just don't know why you're stuck high. Loop tips. Anything else? Anybody else love loop tips and want to point out anything? Go throw it in the chat if you want me to show it in loop tips. It's a copy of the algorithm section, things to do during exercise, how to extend a bolus, which is basically absorption time on the carbs, site failures, what to do. I think some of this could be updated with some other things, but data tools, these are super cool if you really want to see how loops kind of approaching the prediction stuff. Tide pool, night scout, Perceptus is neat. So just like some nuggets are sitting over here. So loop tips. So mentors, some people have asked like what that's all about. I haven't used it, but you guys can see in Loop Group, it's mentorship here on the side, where you can go be a mentor or be a mentee, either one, and you can try to connect with someone. From someone I know that has done this, basically it starts a Facebook message between the two of you and kind of reminds, especially the mentor, but I think it reminds both of you. Like, hey, you guys haven't talked in a while. Are you guys still working together? Kind of thing. So it's like a little bit of a reminder built into it. So if you want to find someone to connect with to help you with something, you can read through their profile or their subjects they say they can help with. feel free to use that. People are there to help. You mentioned
and I'm actually a mentor on Looped, and what I try to do is I'll look through every once in a while and look for Southern California people in there and help them out.
Yeah, it's nice to find people that are local. SoCal Loopers, some of you are in that group right now. It's intended for SoCal people, but we were recording because we have permission to record these sessions into our Facebook group. So we've just added a bunch of you just so you guys can hang out with us and be a part of those videos. Share the love there. Little Loopers, this is another Facebook group that exists that's focused on people with kids that are looping, I think 10 and under, something like that, 10 or 12 and under. There's some unique things there. We have some fun conversations. It's not quite as busy as Looped. I do mention that Little Loopers is not really meant for like technical questions. Probably should leave those in the main Looped group, but occasionally it happens. It's a smaller group and people feel a little more comfortable posting because there's not 30,000 people in that group. Zuloop chat, I showed you. It's loop.zuloopchat.com, and you have streams and then conversations underneath those streams. It's a little bit of a clunky system to use, but you can get around it. Basically, you can click on a title and limit the stuff you're seeing for a particular topic, things that are unread. And the main one that you guys need to know about is GitHub. That's where all the little posts are for that kind of stuff. But some of the true geniuses are here in Zulip, like Dragon. He's awesome. Pete's in there. So that's a good resource to know where some other conversation is going on. Juicebox podcast. That's nice of you to mention that, Sean. So Juicebox podcast, those of you may know that this podcast exists already, but I did 2 episodes, and I think I'm going to be doing a couple more with Scott on the Juicebox podcast about looping. This one. So Juicebox podcast, there's 2 episodes here. You see Fox in the Loop House. My last name is Fox. There you go. That Scott put together. He wants me to come on and do another one. We'll talk more about carbs and managing food and other crazy situations like that. So feel free to listen to those. I would say that the videos we did, especially the one last week with about Basil and ISF and stuff, are a little more detailed than the podcast, and you got some visuals to go along with it. So make sure you check that out.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Please be safe. Have a good day. And we'll catch up real soon.